Talcott Parsons was one of the uh, important sociologists of 20th century. After getting degree from Germany, Parsons started his career at Harvard. He was a prolific writer. He wrote 17 books and 200 papers. He is known by a school of thought which is called structural functionalist. In his opinion, society works as a social system. This social system is sui generis. It is there on its own. So it exists independent of the individuals. Individuals come and go, but society continues. So this society has different components. He calls it, the whole is called as a structure, and then it has certain components, might be called as a subsystem. The whole society might be considered as a system in totality. Then it has its subsystems. And each one of these subsystems performs a function. And the performance of these subsystems and the existence of these subsystems on their own is actually an integrating means to the existence of the society. So all these subsystems contribute to the holistic existence of the society, to the integration of the society as a whole. So these subsystems perform functions which might be called as integrative function, and in the integrative functions, the focus might be on the norms that bind the individuals to society, the patterns of behavior which are there, the shared expectations actually bind each one of them to the group, and then that group is having interaction with other groups, and there are number of groups, number of structures, and all these become a unit. The other less function is the pattern maintenance. So cultural system of values. Values are the standards of desirability, and these values are there. These are transmitted from one generation to another generation, and that is how the individuals are socialized in these values. These values become part of their personalities, and that is how whatever the pattern of the society is, that pattern is maintained. It becomes continuous. Then another function is the goal attainment. So we see that the individuals grow up, they become grown-up individuals, they have their personality, and these personality systems could be different, and these differences lead to the social differentiation, and social differentiation could be a symptom of, let's say, division of labor in the society. And this division of labor in the society is another indication of the progress of this society, the development of the society from simplistic society to industrial kind of society. And then these subsystems also perform the function of adaptation. Adaptation in the sense that the human beings, first of all, might be more like raw material which is born in the societies, that is processed in the society. They adapt to the environment in the society. Adaptation might be in the form of inculcation of the values, the norms, the patterns of behavior, and that is how the society tries to, let's say, shape them accordingly, and they have the, let us say, ability to adapt to the situation. Also, the society as a whole tries to adapt with the changing environment, changing times, changing kind of situations. So this society, in his opinion, is a living system, and he tries to give analogy with the biology. So let's say human being has a whole as it is as a human being. Then it has different parts, and these parts perform different functions, and all these functions are for the, let's say, integrative running functioning of the body or the system. So this system is not static. It's not, let's say, fixed. It is a dynamic kind of system. Now, dynamic means it keeps on changing. It keeps on adapting itself with the changing environment, with the changing needs and times of the society. And one of the examples of this is the adaptiveness of the society is in terms of differentiation of roles amongst the individuals, amongst the groups, which one might consider as more like division of labor. So certain groups might specialize for certain jobs, certain, let's say, services, certain for the production of certain goods and services. Now that is some kind of interdependence on each other, and this leads to some kind of equilibrium in the society. Now that equilibrium is not something fixed. You might, it's more like thermostats, which is fixed on a particular temperature. So the temperature might oscillate, but it tries to come to a certain level which has been fixed in the sense of, let's say, maintenance of the temperature. So maintenance of the system of the society, might call it as homeostasis. So it might move this way or that way. I would say more like throwing a, let's say, pebble in a pond of river, a pond of water, and we find the ripples, but ultimately it comes to, again, some kind of stability. So the things adapt to the environment, and we see that that is how the society continues. And by looking at the different subsystems which perform different functions, and the performance of all these functions lead to the integrative whole of the society.